Joining us now is Cocopea Legal Counsel Attorney Joseph Noel Estrada. Good morning, Attorney. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, nice to see you.
Good morning, Angelo, and good morning, Angela, and to all of your viewers. Good to see you again. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Pero this is not happy news, no? Grabe, 4 out of 1,000 of grade 12 students. Ako, what is your reaction to that study?
Well, first, we eagerly await the release of the full EDCOM report. I think it's due to be released on Monday. And on this report, of course, it's always alarming to hear something like this. Pero it's not a surprise, no? Because of the many similar reports that we have received, not only from EDCOM 2 and from DepEd, but also from international assessment bodies, diba? So we feel that these are all connected. No?
Yeah.
That's why the intervention and education reform should all be related to this and should find these studies helpful. And we think the problem is really compounding. No? So sabi nila ay pagdating sa senior high, meron pa ring lack of the mastery of the basic skills. So we think that the problem really starts at the very young age of these students. So the intervention should also start at the earliest possible time or the earliest or the early grade levels of the students. Otherwise, it will be compounding. They get promoted, no? Lalo na sa public schools, they get promoted to the next grade level. Ayun na nga, until they reach senior high school, there's no time to really remedy or correct this, these deficiencies.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the problem, no, Attorney, you could point out to many different factors that cause this, from the lack of teachers, the lack of classrooms, yung mga ratio, di ba? But what do you think is one of the more important factors that we need to take a look at least to jumpstart? If not, we cannot correct this in one drop, no, in one isang hulugan. But where's the best place to start?
I think number one pa rin is resources, Angelo. Kasi pag tiningnan mo yung performance, lalo na sa public schools, from the local government units who have the resources, like for example, Makati and the other LGUs, their support to the public schools is really great. No? So they tend to perform better. So ganun pa rin, yung lack of resources, number one. Teachers, training ng teachers, classrooms, among other things. So resources is the number one problem. But I also have one observation, Angela, and Angela is also shared by many of our teachers and educators. Ako kasi napapansin ko, ang ating mga reforms, they focus on teachers, governance, and structures.
Yes.
But I think we also need to put mechanisms to make our students also responsible for their own learning. Kasi kahit anong gawin natin na tulong, kung yung estudyante mismo ay hindi binibigyan ng value, lalo na sa public schools because it is free. When they don't value their learning, their education, baliwala lahat yan. No? So I think it is not only a responsibility of the state or the government, but also the parents and the students themselves, because the government can only help to a certain extent. Pero while we are doing all of these reforms, it should also be clear to them that they also have to be diligent, follow their teachers, follow school rules and regulations, so that they also get better.
Good.
Attorney, dagtong lang. Attorney, kasi we also teach college, no? And one thing we've noticed is their dependence on social media and the impact of social media in influencing them. Sometimes kahit may tinuturo ka na, they will even double check you on search engines kung tama ang tinuturo mo, and sometimes may end up correcting you. Do you think we should learn how to integrate social media and all this AI into curriculum?
Yes, certainly, Angelo. And tama ka, I think we have to put certain guidelines in place, particularly yung ethical use, no? Yung mga administrative component of use of technology and AI. Kasi nga, para bang nagagamit pa to devalue learning and the role of our teachers because of access to this. Kung mapapansin niyo, many of the developed countries, di ba, started to ban the use of cell phones in class. So mapapansin mo yung trend, the responsibilities also shared with the students, hindi lang dun sa schools at sa government. I think sa atin we should start to look at that also. And then another thing is we have to empower our teachers more. Yung teachers na nasa classrooms to make their academic judgment on proper assessment of students and not wait for EDCOM after so many years or DepEd to assess at the national level kung ano yung
Yeah.
proficiency ng bata. Dapat yung teacher mismo na sa classroom, ma-empower siya. Ibig
Yeah.
sabihin, kung bagsak, bagsak.
Bagsak,
Para malaman natin yung intervention na bibigay sa kanila individually rather than, just promote everyone but they don't have the proficiency for the necessary for the grade
Yeah.
level until we learn na senior high na. They lack the basic mastery skills.
Totoo yan. Ang nangyayari kasi din, sir, na yung school, medyo parang focus sila doon sa ma-achieve na merit ng school, no?
Metrics nila.
Metrics rather, no? So, if ever, lahat ipasa na lang para ma-achieve yung metrics na goal ng school if ever to promote a certain level of efficiency. But it's good that you mentioned also, sir, yung kanina, no, na kailangan din ipakita din natin sa mga estudyante that this is also a shared responsibility. Because I remember there's a program that was initiated by the Vice President for Vice President Sara Duterte, no, na when she was still the DepEd Secretary, yung parang Catch-up Fridays. So, maganda yung program pero hindi pumapasok yung mga estudyante. No, pasok na lang sila ulit ng Monday kasi ayaw nila magbasa. So, it's good that you mentioned nga na kailangan talaga ng iba't ibang approach because it's hard na parang we keep on doing things the same things pero we are expecting a different result. Okay, so my question here po, tinitingnan nila dito sa study na to na i-redefine daw yung proficiency. Do you agree with that? Kailangan ba ibaba natin yung ating standard para ma-achieve natin yung proficiency na sinasabi dito sa mga study na to?
I think we have to be honest in the assessment of our students. So kung babaguhin yung definition ng proficiency just to improve our assessment results, and I think we should not do that. No? We should first of all we should acknowledge the problem. I think ang sinasabi rin nila kasi yung like for example literacy, before mataas ang literacy rate natin kasi ang presumption sa tool nila, ang metrics nila is basta nag-aaral or nakatapos ng junior high, literate. No, so I think in one of the studies na sabi ng EDCOM, dapat gamitin na natin yung definition ng functionally literate.
Totoo.
Ibig sabihin, talagang yung basic literacy, functional literacy ay talagang it manifests.
Oo.
So, that respect, tama yon. Pero yung para ibaba to accommodate everyone, I think that has been the root of many of our problems diba? In many years. So, dapat wag na tayong bumalik doon.
So you also mentioned earlier in this interview yung sa earlier stage pa lang dapat ng estudyante dapat na-focus na nagkakaroon na talaga ng matinding pag-aaral doon kasi they're looking at parang fragile foundation, no. So paano ma-address ng DepEd ngayon yan kung we keep on looking at these studies tapos lagi natin pinag-uusapan yung mga factors that affect it, that influence the study, blah blah blah. But what can the DepEd do para ma-address talaga to?
Number one, very concrete. There's a push to expand the subsidy, the voucher system to elementary. Kasi sa ngayon, yun na lang kinder to 6 ang walang support from the government sa mga estudyante natin. And by doing that, by expanding it to elementary, yung resources ng government would be more efficient at makakatulong, mamaximize yung tulong ng private sector to decongest classrooms, to address the lack of teachers, and eventually this will help in the proficiency of students and will address all of these problems. So yan ang isa. Marami pang approaches na pinopropose, pero this is one really big step we think kung maisa sa batas ito very soon. Napakalaking tulong po nito sa ating government kasi imagine how will they address the 165,000 backlog in classrooms, for example, So instead of just tapping the private sector to provide that, I think it will really save us a lot of time and resources of the government.
Alright, with that, maraming salamat po muli sa inyong oras and of course insights, Cocopea Legal Counsel, Attorney Joseph Noel Estrada. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat po.